Hello, Shift Nation. Welcome. Excited to be here with you today. We got our man Harry Luca on the phone with us today, or on the live here with us today. So we're excited. We've been away for a little bit. So thanks for joining us, man. We're excited to jump in with you.
Feelings mutual, Chris. Thank you much for having me.
Yeah. So let's learn a little bit about you first before we dive in. So we're just for everyone watching. We're going to dive in pretty deep into kind of troubleshooting. All right, we see this sometimes with our advisors. There's just some issues that happen, and we'll kind of walk through that. So I think this would be a really good one for our Shift members and anyone else that's watching that's trying to use LinkedIn. So let's just learn a little bit about you. So tell us where in the world you are today.
I am in Fort Wayne, Indiana, but I sound a little bit different because I was raised in London. So Get that out of the way real quick.
Awesome. And so tell us a little bit about your story. How did you get into the business? Where did that come from?
Long story short, Dad has run the business for about 32 years here in Fort Wayne, moved the company out to California about 10 years ago. So he's out there. I'm in the remote office here in Fort Wayne. My background's actually engineering. I did that for about 10 years, went into car sales for about 7 or 8 years, just in the finance side of things. And then finally, he thought I was ready to make the shift and come into pretty much the family business. So definitely on the fresher side of things. I got licensed about 1 year or 2 years ago, but we didn't make the jump until 2-3 months ago. So
okay, yeah, very cool. Well, I appreciate you joining us. So you came into the program a couple months ago, like you said, and right away you just dove right in. That was one of the things that stuck out to me because I didn't even know your face, or I just recognized the name because you didn't even really come into our coaching and the things you're doing because you just dove right in and jumped right in. And so I commend you for that. We love that. So tell us a little bit about just kind of how things kind of got started for you.
In the finance world or with the program?
With the program, yeah, because you jumped right in, right? You were just willing to kind of jump in, get things going on your own, and be an action taker.
Well, like I said, I pretty much just started in the industry itself. So unlike some, I had time. And so it was just a case of, right, how quick can I get through this while learning along the way at the same time? I have a sales and marketing background. So a lot of the terminology, the programs, LinkedIn weren't foreign to me. So when it came to like making logos and banners, I used things like Fiverr or Upwork. I kind of had a rough idea how to use them anyway. And so I just jumped straight in and just took the first thing that looked half decent and put it up. Just to get the ball rolling. When it came into Advisor Link, it just followed the videos step by step, paused them, did it, grabbed another coffee, got stuck in, put my head down and got it wrapped out.
Yeah, awesome. And I think so I think that's kind of the foundation of what we're going to talk about today. And we're really going to look at comprehensive some things going on in the campaigns that you're running and kind of what you're doing. But that's really cool. So tell me, so your dad's had the business for quite a while. He's 32 years, I believe. You came in the business. Tell me what the focus of your practice is.
Focus of the practice is primarily the core concept is along the lines of the infinite banking concepts, primarily leveraging life insurance. We do have assets under management as well. So it is a macro view when it comes to the practice itself. But ideally, people know us and come to us the way we can leverage their assets, taxes, reduce risk. Again, using the life insurance concept of whole life.
Okay, great. And is there a particular type of client you like to work with, just for everyone watching here, so they know what we're looking to do here?
Me personally, I'm sticking on the medical side of things. My dad's been across the board, just whoever. I mean, it's been the old school, seminars and referrals. That's all he lives by. I mean, he only just got a website like 3 years ago, type of thing. He just doesn't need it. I knew I had to target focus. My wife is a CRNA, so I know the struggles when the nurses and medical professionals get home. We have about 90 to 100 doctors as well as clients, and so we know the struggles. So it was just an easy one for me to choose.
Right. Okay. Great. And then so you're just new to the business. So when did you come into contact with advisors, out of curiosity?
We knew Caleb, who did Scale and Six with you guys, probably 6 months ago, or my dad's real good friends with him. And so Caleb said, hey, I'm doing this program. My dad bought it. So I went through that before I was in the program and got that wrapped out and was helping him with some of the concept in Scale and Six. That's when we first met you, when Caleb came out of this program.
Yeah. Awesome. And then what made you take the jump into Shift? Because I know you're you're younger in the business? Is it just kind of getting some things going for you?
I just knew we didn't have a conversion problem. We had a traffic problem. There wasn't any outreach. There was no way of people weren't coming to a website. We had no way of getting in front of new people. You
Yeah.
only got so many friends and family to get in front of.
Yeah.
So we needed something that had more outreach because we were in Scale and 6. Of course, I was on your website the whole time. The emails were always promoting it. And I was like, this just makes sense.
Sure. Okay. Awesome. Well, great. So let's talk a little bit more then about your niche then. So you medical professionals, you have about 100 medical professionals already in the practice then?
Well, 90 doctors primarily. So family practitioners, orthopedic surgeons, and everything.
Okay.
Kind of probably sketching into, chiropractors and dentists as well.
Okay. All right. Great. So for those watching, so thanks everyone for watching. So to make sure, I know we see a bunch of people watching here. Give us some love here. Let us know you're watching. I want to make sure we get your questions and get you guys interactive in here with what we're doing, because we're gonna hit a pretty broad stroke today and covering a couple different things because just kind of catch everyone up here. So Hari came into our program, got launched very quickly, did a lot of work, but he's having some trouble lately, and so he messaged me the other day, said he's having some trouble. So you know what? This sounds like a great opportunity for our members and for those of you watching to kind of do some troubleshooting, right? Not everything always goes perfect. So we want to kind of walk through some of these things here and kind of see what we're looking at. We're not going to solve all Ari's problems today. We're not going to kind of get too deep into all that, but this is going to kind of be a diagnostic, let's call it. We'll be able to look at some different things that we need to work on, and then we'll take it offline with Hari and get him rolling. But if you guys have questions, please chime in here. I see we got some New England listeners up here and everything. Nebraska just turned in from lunch, so great. So we got some people joining in. We love that, and everyone gives Hari some love here for joining us. We always appreciate it. I know it's always we're faced with a little trepidation when you're doing a live and jumping on here. It's not like you're doing these things every day, so we appreciate you doing that for us. All right, let me make sure I can see. There we go. All right, Nashville in the house. Awesome. So let's talk about the niche a little bit. So why did you decide on medical professionals?
Primarily because my wife is a CRNA.
Okay.
So I have huge respect for nurses, people in that profession, especially what went on with last year. A lot of her friends are always over in the same industry. And just for me, I knew I had to pick something. And so I just see the stresses and the strains they go through, that when it comes to student debt, when it comes to, keep on going to school, jumping between jobs. And so 401ks and benefits always shuffling around or getting left behind. I just saw a lot of loose ends that could be definitely tidied up and let them worry about what they do and take the money stress off them.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. And so let's kind of jump into that. Let's look at your LinkedIn profile. So this was kind of your first pass at this. So let's pull that up. All right. All right. So I gotta share my screen here. All right. So got your profile here. Let's get rid of that there. All right. So let's kind of I just want to walk through this. I want to understand what you're thinking here. So, so I take care of your personal finances so you can take care of your patients. Contacting me for a free financial checkup. We got your email here, picture of the nursing here. So that's good. We'll talk about that a little bit. All right. So here's your USP. I help medical professionals double their net worth in 60 days using our proven wealth and overdrive strategy so you can future-proof your income and gain the freedom you deserve. All right. We're going to hold on to the about section. So tell me what you had going on here, Hari, and I know you're a good sport, so we're going to pick on you a little bit, but it's all in good fun here, right? So tell me what you got going on and what your thoughts were.
For where do we start? Like on the banner or something?
Just in general, right here, right? So this is what you see when you come to it. What are you hoping that but your direct niche sees from this when you're looking at it?
Of course, first of all, just to get the idea that we work with what our target market is. So I used a picture of medical professionals and highlighted it in the USP, like you guys said in the course itself.
Yeah.
Then when it came to like doubling your net worth in 60 days or less, of course, it's kind of that punch in the face, trying to get the attention real quick, is kind of like, I've kind of teetered on the film of does that come across as too spammy sometimes? But I mean, it is a real thing. We've done it for decades, so it's not something it goes through compliance. There's no problems there. But I have wondered that on a first contact aspect. And then Wealth in Overdrive is literally a program we've had for a couple of decades, so it's a real thing. And then I guess kind of when the concept of using like future-proof your income and gain the freedom you deserve, that's what I ended up just picking. I think there's so many different ways you can spin that because I haven't been able to nail in the true, and that's my wife liked it as well. She's a medical professional, so I'll go with that now.
Yeah. All right. Good. And that's always good, right? So that's a good little key there. You gotta check in there too. All right. So I'm gonna, just for everybody, I'm gonna be typing notes. So if you see me looking off, I'm just gonna show you. I know this is something we get requested all the time after these. I'm gonna type some notes here when we're troubleshooting, kind of the different things we're looking for, the areas we're looking for. So we're gonna kind of go through and do this diagnostic as we go through. I'm gonna create this document for everyone. So it'll be very helpful, and Ari will definitely provide it to you as well. So, all right. So right away, I'm just gonna nitpick a little bit, right? So on the banner, I take care of your so really the thing anytime you're looking at the banner, you're thinking about, all right, someone driving by the highway 80 miles an hour, they're passing the banner. What do they think or say? All right, when they see it. So let's just go with colors right now. Is that brand colors?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. And then, if I looked at this, do I think you're working with medical professionals?
Hope so.
Hope so. Right. Right. So that's what we're looking for. These are things I'm kind of mentally checking for, right? So first is the billboard. Second is niche, right? Do we know who we're talking to? And then the third is the message. What does the message say? All right. So let's talk about the message. I take care of your personal finances so you can take care of your patients. All right. Now, I know where you're going with this, right? And I hear this a lot from people that go after the medical field. A lot of these people in the medical field are so concerned about their patients, right? And their family doing things for others they're not doing for themselves. That's a concern I hear a lot. So I don't know if we hit the mark on that. Not a big deal in there. You did a good job of it, right? So do they really want to take care of their finances so they can take care of their patients? And I think when we focus on our finances early on like this in the banner, it gives people an opportunity to turn off to our message. All right. What I mean by that is so people avoid difficult things, right? It's just psychology. People work very hard to avoid difficult things. And if their personal finances aren't great, right? And they're not really doing well there, and they know they have to improve, but they're not doing the work there. It's something they want to avoid. And so when we say this, when we use that term, it might trigger something in them. So just something there. So something that we see a lot of people do is taking care of you while you're taking care of others. Just something very short and sweet and intriguing, right? You want to create a little mystery, a little aura around it of, well, what are they doing? How are they taking care of me, right? We just want to get them to go to the next thing. And so I think we can be a little more, not vague isn't necessarily the right word, a little more mysterious, create a little more mystery around what you're doing, a little more intrigue around it. Because once you say personal finances, it gives them the opportunity to say, oh, I got an advisor. Oh, I'm saving in my retirement. Oh, I'm doing this. They can just turn off to that message and not give it a chance. Okay. So I think, so message is the third thing we're looking for here. So Aria specifically, I'm going to go to my notes here for a minute so we can type some of this out as we're going along. What do you think of my comments?
I agree. It's I had played around a couple of times with like self-care and like say looking after themselves versus looking after their finances, things like that. Now I like it so far. I like keep it more mysterious. Definitely. That the banner is one thing I haven't tested or played around with. I've probably been through 7 or 8 different USPs though.
Okay. All right. And we'll kind of talk through that. And I mean, you don't want to change that often, right? So to test, so this is for everybody's benefit as well. And I'm going to put this as a rule, right? We're going to put this as a rule down here. I'm going to put it in stars. All right. Let test campaigns run 4 to 6 weeks at least. Okay. You're not going to get good numbers until you're 4 to 6 weeks in. If you keep changing it, it actually restarts that every time, and so you're not sure where you are in that process. So if you keep changing it, you're not sure what's working, what's not, and this gives you the opportunity to improve it moving forward. So you got to give it at least 4 to 6 weeks, and I would say 3 months is really what you want to be at. Some people get impatient with that, and really, so we're talking about numbers here, which we'll talk about in a little bit for the numbers, like 4 to 6 weeks. But messages and things like that, we need to wait a little bit longer. It just takes time for some of these things. All right, message. Does it create create intrigue and a reason to continue down profile? All right. So those are big things right there, and I'd say we can do some work there. Okay, which is fine. If all this was perfect and you're having trouble, then we'd have a different problem on our hands, right? So it's all these little things that are kind of adding up here. Okay. So next, I want to make sure I'm keeping up with comments here. That's a good one. So Robert, do you have, we actually do take those. So it would be cool to see a before and after in your profile pictures. I'm sure there's a big difference. Did you have one of those ugly blue standard LinkedIn profile banners up there prior to this?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it had some like wavy lines in it, I'm sure, but like
yeah. All right, I figured. So there's the answer. I'm sure it was different. Be good to check that out. But yeah, and then so let's see. Showtime. We got showtime here. Chris's description of creating intrigue or mystery sounds like flirting. Not inappropriate flirting,
what we're doing, right?
Networking, right? That's what we're trying to get some interest here, right? See if someone's interested. So I think they'll probably run similar paths. Showtime. And then Robert, what do you mean by a test campaign? Can you give us an example? Well, I meant it in a general term. So if we're talking generally, if you're running a new marketing initiative, right, whatever that may be, if you're creating messaging and all that, you need to give it time to work. Specifically to that, I mean, inside of our program and inside of our system, a campaign where we're doing direct messaging campaign inside of LinkedIn, you need 4 to 6 weeks to let those numbers shape up. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit, Robert. So we'll get deeper into that. But in general, any initiative. So, as an advisor, when I was doing, for example, seminars, right? We're doing seminars. When I would do a one-off and every few months, it was like I couldn't get any traction. When I started doing monthly for 3 months, after 3 months, it seemed like every time 3 months, all of a sudden things took off. I got consistency. I had a lot of prospects flowing. All this good stuff started happening. I was doing calling campaigns, right? If I'm making calls or hired someone to do calls, things would go, it'd be good. But all of a sudden, like 3 months, things would get very consistent, right? And I would get really good data that I could start building off of and making better. So anything you're going to commit to, I would say at least 3 months to really see it come to fruition. Not meaning you can't tweak it along the way, but specifically here, 4 to 6 weeks for your campaign. And we're going to get deeper into that. So thanks, Robert, for that question. All right. So we're getting into, profile picture. I'm not going to beat you up on that. Looks good. I think
we just had a professional shoot about 3 weeks ago, so I've got a bunch of different pictures coming in for that stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, if I was nitpicking, I could say you could do a solid background in the back just to make it a little more clear, but yeah. That's fine. So headshot. I'm writing my notes here for everybody. So headshot, you want to make sure it's clear, and solid background is always good. Doesn't have to be, but it's not going to make or break you. Just for looks, you can tell it's broken up there, so it draws the eye where you really want the eye drawn to your banner image. All right, so that's headshot. 3 is your title. Sorry, title is next. So one thing I noticed on your title is you only have your name. Okay. And so the little trick here is you can put your first and last name in the first name category inside of the edit, and you can put your title in the last name. All right. And so, the title, again, you want to be a little, like I said, mysterious. So you want to create some intrigue. If you're saying, hey, I'm going to do a financial plan for you. I'm a financial planner. I do insurance. it gives people that opportunity to say no without learning what makes you unique and how you can help them, right? It just gives them the opportunity to say, oh, here's another life insurance person trying to sell me life insurance. I'm not talking to them. You don't get a chance to get your message across, right? If they decide that after hearing what you got to say, that's a personal problem at that point, right? You got to refresh your message. But if you don't ever get a chance to deliver that message and show them why you're different, then we need to just tweak things a little bit. So just something to remember as we're kind of going through this. That's one of the reasons, sorry, I said, let's take out personal finance right away out of the gates. Let's just make it about them. I take care of you so you can take care of your patients, right? Or you take care of others. And just keep it really simple. How do you take care of me, right? You want to walk them down a path.
Okay.
It's also important to remember for everybody here that there is a path your prospects are going down. There's a reason they're on your LinkedIn page. Whether you sent them a message, okay, whether they found you searching, whether they met you somewhere at a networking event or somewhere and they came to your page. Whatever it is, they came to your page. They're going to see that banner. It's that quick, like I said, 3-second. All right, that's interesting. Let me learn more. Let me scroll down. Oh, here's Hari. Okay. Here's his USP. That sounds good. That fits me, which we're going to get into in a minute. They're going to go down the about section, right? And then hopefully they're going to connect with you. But that's the kind of the journey they're going to take through your LinkedIn profile. And that's why we're just trying to move them down. Just keep moving them down the page. All right. So title, use first name, space for first and last name. And then you're going to use last name, space for title. And you can also throw a little emoji in between to create some separation.
Okay.
All right. I'm just keeping my notes here for everyone, make sure we're all on the same page. All right. Let's jump into USP here. All right. So we're going to USP. One of the big things here, and I apologize, I'm about to sneeze here maybe. One of the big things here is again, that same level of intrigue, but more importantly, getting people to take action and create urgency. All right. So any of you 5-day challenge members out there watching, we create a workbook on this. Shift members, there's a workbook on how to do this. We give you a lot of tips and hints. So definitely use that as a resource as you're working through this. But let's kind of walk through this real quick here. So I help medical professionals double their net worth in 60 days using our proven wealth and overdrive strategy. So you can future-proof your income and gain the freedom you deserve. All right. So let's talk through this. A commenter wrote in here, they said that double their net worth in 60 days almost sounded too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's interesting. You know, that's just an opinion, right? I had opinions. Everyone's got opinions. So just
I actually think the same thing myself. We can do it, but I wanted to put something out there that kind of slaps you in the face.
Yeah.
But I think at some points it might also seem too good to be true as well.
Right. Right. Yeah. So that's something we want to watch there. The next thing I'll say is that I don't think you're hitting the problem your niche has, right? One of the reasons we pick a niche and preach that inside of our course is because it creates a laser focused message. It allows you to create a message that breaks through all the noise, that talks directly to one person, right? Because they all fit that category of a niche. And if you can figure out that one problem they have, and you're going to hit 80% of them, right, that are going to say, oh yeah, I get it. That's my problem, right? And it speaks to them. It's going to capture their attention, right? Second thing is you need to do is create the urgency. We're missing the urgency too. So we're going to talk through both of those things. Okay. So first, double their net worth in 60 days. So take that or leave that, right? You're thinking that too. You had some users say that. So it could be too good to be true in there. Now you have your wealth in overdrive strategy. Preference here, I would say process or method is just a better word. It sounds a little more scientific, a little more like something they go through. So I just like those words better. That's personal opinion. But I like the wealth in overdrive. You want to have a strategy, right? That's important. That's something that you're naming your process, and that's important. So you have that here, okay? And that just creates, again, when we talk about that intrigue, oh, what is that? it's not something other people are out there talking about. You're not saying, hey, bank on yourself or investment or infinite banking. You're not using those terms that thousands and thousands of people use or our competitors use. It's something else. And it could be the same thing, but at least you own that name. Now, the last part here, though, is where I want to work. So you can future-proof your income and gain the freedom you deserve. Is that what nurses are concerned about?
I'm sure deep down, but it doesn't call out. It's not, they don't wake up in sweats thinking about it. No.
Right. And that's the thing, right? There's a lot of things there that we're all concerned about. But what is that one thing that if you say, hey, I can solve this problem for you, that I'm like, oh man, all right, we got to talk today because I need to know that information. That's what we're looking for here. And that's not always easy to get. But that's what we're looking for here. So your Facebook user Hari mentioned debt and benefits that can be addressed by wealth and overdrive strategy. So they're asking if you can address the debt and benefits you're talking about in that strategy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great. So let's talk through this a little bit, okay? Because this is an important kind of component here. When we're talking about niche, this is exactly why. So what do you think it is so your wife, right? And I know you got a financial services background. What's her biggest problem or fear in her profession and you don't have to answer that, right? That might be personal, but I'm saying in general, right? When you're looking at that profession, what would you say she would say or anyone else is that like, man, if you could fix this, that would be awesome.
And I've asked her a million times on this one. And what we found is kind of you've kind of got there's different tiers and tenures. So the nurses it's kind of a student debt. They're younger. It's a different approach. Then you've kind of got your PAs, your NPs, your CRNAs. Student debt's going through the roof, or the hospital might be paying for them to have it. So, tuition is covered. And so she's never really been able to give me an exact one. When I spoke to my dad kind of about the doctors, it's kind of more about practice efficiencies and things on those lines on the higher level. But honestly, I am struggling a little bit to kind of really get that one core thing that sticks out just for nurses and PAs and things on those lines.
Okay. All right. So let's talk through that then. And if anyone has comments they want to throw in here and helping us out, that would be great. More than two heads are better than one, they always say. So anyone that wants to jump in here. But I think let's go back to the debt thing, right? Would you say, nurses, they're working long shifts, right? They're usually working 12-hour shifts, right? They got families at home. They have other responsibilities, certainly in community, family, church, whatever it may be. They have the debt. They've got households to manage. Do you think that gets in the way of them thinking about things like their net worth, like their future, future-proofed income? Are they so stuck in the mud of their day-to-day that it's hard to think about the future?
I would agree, yes. Especially the debt is definitely a big topic of it. And then self-care is, sitting down and actually looking after number one themselves.
Yeah. And I'm going off of this isn't my niche, right? But we've talked to a lot of people that have similar kind of niches. And this is a very repetitive theme that I've heard when it comes to this, like living. Yes. So Savita, thank you. Living paycheck to paycheck. So I think that's the route I would go just on what I know. Okay. And based on what you just said with some of the feedback you got from your wife, that might be a better path here, because I think when they're so, and that's the thing, right? They can't see the future or a bright future because, again, we work so hard to avoid that because it seems bleak because they're not doing all that they need to do. So we got some good comments in here. How taxes impact net worth. Taxes are a big part of that. With something as simple as they're too busy having 12-hour shifts, they forget to learn how to save and prepare for their own financial future. I think, Victor, you're on the right track there. Another Facebook user, Ari, have you considered registering the name of the Wealth in Progress? I'm sorry, yours is Wealth in Overdrive. He said Wealth in Progress.
It is trademarked. I just couldn't get the TM in there.
Okay, awesome, cool. So that's good. So you definitely do own that, even better.
Yeah.
But I think back to Victor's point, I think he's on to something there. That's kind of the route I was going. Like they're living paycheck to paycheck, working shifts. They're worried about others. They're running households, and they're not worried about their future. So let's talk through that a little bit. So what are your thoughts on that, Ari?
I think what I want, because what we'd originally started was like so I wanted to go for a specific income, because coming from the automotive finance side, I saw a lot of income and credit reports every single day. And sometimes on the nurse level, depending on how long they've been in the business, it's a bit of a whirlwind and can be a bit of a mess. And so ideally as a client, it almost wasn't something I wanted to kind of get into early on. I wanted to go with someone who got a bit more income, a little more stable, maybe spouses in a similar position, something on those lines. But yeah, when it comes to the shifts, that's definitely a huge concern. Like I say, just picking up extra hours, staffing issues, especially when you're a higher educated nurse, you're more worried about staffing and, people calling off, being mandated on. And so there's a lot of unknowns when it comes to the shifts as well.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, so I used to play with the self-care thing, but to your point, after 2 or 3 weeks, I got ADD and switched it out. So,
okay. Yeah. So, but I think that's the right route. And it's not that the thing about it. So this is another good tip for everyone, right? If you don't feel your message is resonating, it doesn't mean it's the wrong message. You just might not be saying it the right way. If that makes sense. All right. So sometimes it's just a bit of tweaking what you're saying or saying it a different way than changing what you're saying completely. So are you comfortable with this road here, Ari, or are you thinking that's not the right route for you?
Hey man, I'm an open book. I love everything so far. Okay. And it's kind of gone back to where I was. So it's kind of reaffirming where I was might have been the right place, and to just sit on my hands and just give it a chance.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure that we're going down the right path here, not doing something that's not productive for you. So, all right. So I think, back to Victor's point, I see Savita putting in some good comments there. So wealth and overdrive strategy. So all right. Helping medical professionals with our proven wealth and overdrive strategy to help them take control of their, let's think through this a little bit, right? So what are we trying to say? We're trying to say that they work too hard. They're focused on others, right? So they can focus on their future. Let's see. This is a good one. Let's keep working through. Any suggestions?
I've been playing with like chart, because they do a lot of charting at work. So I didn't know if like kind of using their terminology was too cheesy or things on those lines. So it was kind of like just I had things in form of like looking after family, have time for self-care, and look after number one, things on those lines.
All right. So maybe we could just change. Maybe we just restart it, right? As a medical professional, you're busy each day looking after your patients and running your households, right? Or running your family, or running your households, or that, right? Take back control of your future with our wealth and overdrive strategy, where we help you. Let's see here. I'm trying to think back to some of the things we've heard. I'm looking at my notes. What's the thing they want, right? What's the thing they want? Is the future of concern right now, or they just want to know that stuff's taken care of? So they can know
peace of mind that it's covered, it's taken care of, that they can see the future and not just keep their fingers crossed.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. You said it there, see the future. That's what I was thinking of, something along the lines of that they would have right along that, right? Not only see the future, but they would be able to realize a future that they envision after all their hard work, right?
And that comment that just came in, chart your financial future with wealth and overdrive, that's almost identical to what I did have previously, but I had it for about 5 days. So
awesome. There you go, Uncharted. I think that's actually a play on words, right? Because it's unchartered, I think is the right word. Uncharted is kind of cool. I like that. Some good stuff here from our Facebook users. Nice. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right, we like that. That's what I'm saying. This is good stuff here. So all right, I think we got some good stuff to go off there. You got the charting, which I like. I think you can, as a medical professional, you can talk right to them. As a medical professional, you're so busy taking care of others that you're avoiding the planning for the future you deserve, right? You use that plan for the future. And then you can go to chart your future, right? Or helping nurses, then you can go into that, chart your financial future with our wealth elevator drive process to take control of that part of your life or something, right? I think all those things are right in line with what we're talking about here. Yeah, okay. I like a lot of people are liking charting for sure. A couple more people want you to drop that 60 days. So I think we're on the right track here.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, we're getting some good progress here. All right. So you feel pretty good about that already? And I said, we're not going to solve everything today, but this is all stuff we're going to use. We'll take this offline. We'll keep working on this. But I think this is good for everyone to see. So I want to make sure we hit all the high marks. So let me put some notes in here. So for USP.
Does this chat get saved somewhere?
I'm sorry?
Do the chat comments get saved somewhere?
Yeah, they'll be in the live. Yep, they'll be on the live. Yep. And Jazz, can you just confirm that? We'll have those, right? All right. Name your strategy. Okay, so I'm just going to catch up on our notes here. So the important thing with USP is you want to name our strategy. We want to create urgency and help them take action. We want to speak to the problem our niche has and how we solve it. Okay, and we've done some lives on USP. So if you guys need more there, there's plenty out there that we've already created for you all on that. So that should be good there. All right, let's go to the about section, and I'm sure we're gonna make some changes here because this should be. Remember the journey they're taking. There should be absolute consistency across that whole arc. Okay, because we want them to just keep getting reinforced the same message. Especially, it has to be the right message, right? All right. All right, I like this start, right? Many medical professionals put more energy into planning their next vacation than protecting their family and lifestyle they worked so hard to build. Like that a lot. Feeling overwhelmed, disorganized with a lack of time created. All right, so this about section actually plays to your original line of thought here. Mm-hmm. Just a little nitpick. I would say our. It's not the, it's yours. Our, right? Okay. And then I would say in here. Just a little thing. They don't have time. They don't know how to do it. You want to give them some comfort here. These feelings are eliminating, allowing you to take control when you work alongside us to implement the steps. Allow us to take control and implement the steps. Something to that effect, so they can kind of be at ease knowing that the professionals are doing it. Someone they trust is going to take that over. Okay. All right. So the about section. Just a couple notes here. We want to make sure. We are talking about our prospects, their problems, concerns, and needs, okay? It's all about them. It's not about, hey, I went to this school, I got this degree, I have this designation. All that stuff comes later for you all, right? This is all about them. They need to see their problems. They need to see the fear that they have, and they need to see you as the authority and the solution to those problems. That's what we're doing here. Okay. All right. Let me make sure I'm up to date here. All right. I kind of like that too. So there's some good stuff. You guys have got some good stuff today, man. Everyone is contributing here. So our Facebook user switching to charting language. Consider a banner that shows a flat line that suddenly starts beeping.
I like that.
That's a good one. It's a good one. What is line above college? Why? What is line above college? I'm sorry, GH. I'm not sure what you mean there. Apologies. All right. All right. So the about section is focused on solutions and what they could have. All right. Use emojis. What you're doing here, right? Those are important things. The reason we use emojis here. You can't do any formatting inside of this about section. So when you look at it, if you're just on someone's thing, it's just words that all blends together. Okay. And that's not usually the way we read, especially if we're not sure we're interested in something yet, we're going to skim it. And if all of a sudden I see some flames and I look next to that, finding themselves working on a career while caring for their parents and children. Oh man, I'm doing that right now. Right. They can start. So it captures their eye, allows them to identify with something you're saying. and then ultimately go back and read and consume the whole thing. So that's why we're using that. That's what we're doing. So that's great. The landscape has changed. My clients are putting their energy. Clients are tired of put for it. All right, so this is a great one. Yeah, I mean, you're hitting right on here. This is all the stuff we've been talking about already. So it makes me believe that if we revamp that top section and your messaging a little bit, I think we're on the right track here.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to change the USP than it is the about section. So that's probably a lazy move of me just playing with the quickest and easiest thing.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about all the things we're talking about here. So you got your calendar link. I'm going to put that in here, include contact information. I'm going to put on our notes. I'm going to go back to our notes here just so everyone sees those for a minute. Can I kind of rehash those? So our about section should be a continuation of our banner and USP, right? We're just kind of walking down that line. So it's just a continuation, which it is, right? It was. And there's some things, some mixed messages in there. So mixed messages are not good. You want that continuity, okay? And then you want contact information. So, all right, you have your link in there. So I would put email, phone, calendar. I would put all those things in there. You want to make it easy as possible for people to find you. I would also use a vanity URL. So a vanity URL is like, we got meetwithadvisors.com. Everyone should be checking out meetwithadvisors.com if you want to learn more, right? So we have that. It's very easy. You can go there and set up a time on our calendar. So that's one way to do it. And you could have meetwithari.com or however you want to do it.
Okay.
The actual words, right? But it allows you to have one domain. It doesn't have that long calendly.com/this meeting, all that. All right. Consider comparing how their delays in planning are similar to patients who do not follow medical advice. AMA against medical advice. Unfilled RX is expired. All right, that's a great one too. Oh, okay, just a small typo in calendar as an FYI. So I just want to check that, Ari, and then yeah, awesome. Okay. All right, so we'll keep moving along here. So yeah, all this is great. And then so it would just be like meetwithari.com and then your email, just make sure it's very easy to find you. Cool. All right. All this is great. All right. So the last thing we're going to do, so our shift members will get this. We have software that our shift members are available to use inside of our program. So Ari is a member of our advanced coaching and training course, Shift LinkedIn Accelerator. And I have your thing. Where'd it go? There we are. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at your campaign real quick. Okay. Now, for those of you not in our shift program, this will look very foreign to you. You won't really understand it. So if you want to learn more about what we're about to go over, meetwithadvisors.com. Check that out. So we're going to look at it. This is our automation software, which Ari is using. And Ari, I know when we originally started chatting, you had some, out of the gates, you were having some really good responses and opportunities. You had some pretty good chats going on right out of the gates, right?
They were it was a little slow out the gate primarily. I did run a 401k campaign within there, and it probably had the best replies in volume, but everything was just already taken care of, or I've got an advisor. I got 2 that are in fruition right now from it. Okay. So as I was just saying, I know you had some people replying and stuff. So I think maybe just getting back on message will help out for sure. Mm-hmm. But let's kind of walk through. So we got 4 campaigns. I think that's that 401k you're talking about. Yep.
All right. So let's look here. All right. So when we look at these numbers, okay. So this is what we want to see. So I'm gonna put in our 6th section here. All right. So campaigns. So we want to look at our numbers, campaign numbers. They should be a 25% acceptance and a 7% response rate. All right. So when I look at the 401k performed really well. All right. when I look at your acceptance rate and then your subsequent response rate, it's not performing well, right? We're way below averages here, way below. Yeah, way below. So, and these are numbers. These are really low numbers here. So this is definitely something. This tells me, Ari, that your messages are probably right. I think we're missing the mark up front. Okay. So let's look at this. We're gonna talk through this a little bit here. I'm gonna write the notes in here. All right. So when we're doing this 25 acceptance, if we're not getting that, either our niche is off or our message. Okay. If I'm not getting 25%, that means I'm sending the wrong message, or I have the wrong message to the wrong niche. So it's not corresponding, or my niche is not meeting the message, right? Either one of those is off. That's usually the problem. So I'm wondering if there might not be some issues inside of your search, inside of Sales Navigator. Are you making sure you're hitting all nurses on that and medical professionals?
Correct. For job titles, I'll literally just put either the abbreviations or just very specific, like nurse manager. It has nurse or PA, physician's assistant, CRNA. Right. Yeah.
So we need to A/B test your connection message. So inside of Advisor Link, you can A/B test those messages. You know what I mean there? All right, I'm going to show you guys real quick.
Know what you mean, but I never did it. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I know what you mean, but I guess I never did it. No.
Yeah. So, so I'm looking in here. Yeah, it's good. All right, so you're not running smart sequences. So this is another. Yeah. So here's test A. All right, cool. So this is a message you're sending. So yeah, it's not. The problem is you're not getting these messages out. Yeah. All right. It looks good. You got the message. Okay. So this is our problem right here. Your invitation to connect. So we need to test this. Yeah. So you just have the A in here. Something's not going through here. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we need to update that. So, okay. I think that's the big problem, because if you look at your responses, actually, if we go back to your campaigns, like right here, you had a 6% acceptance, but a 5% response rate. So we just need to improve your acceptance rate, and we're going to see this number jump up to similar to here. I think that's where we want to go. So there's definitely a disconnect. So what we're seeing is a disconnect here, Ari, from the message you're sending, right, to your profile and what it says and what they see. There's some disconnect. There's a big disconnect for what I'm seeing here. So I think once we align those things and all the stuff we're talking about here, we're going to be right where we need to be. Okay. So that's good. Okay. So I'm looking at this here, and let's see. I'm just going to look at your messages here. Now, also, we're in the holidays. This month is generally slower, so just something to consider in general. It's for anyone out there. Yeah. You're getting lots of
lots of I'm good, I'm working with someone. So I've done a lot of your rebuttals that you guys sent over. I sent those back over either to no response, and I'll just keep following up with some of the brochures or ebooks we've got. I'd probably say I'm working a good 5 to 6 leads right now. I had a doctor reach out yesterday from Illinois. So things are happening. It's just getting people now on the phone to do the coffee chat.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Your responses are good. You get 5 or 6 appointments, and 2 months in, it's not terrible, right? It's not where we want to be. It's not terrible. You're getting traction. Now, speaking completely frankly and honestly with you, off of a 6% acceptance rate, that's stellar. Okay. All right. So that leads me to believe your messaging is really good. Everything's lining up. It's a good niche. We just need to get more people in that. Because think about it. If we get you to 25%, that's basically 4 times what you're seeing right now. So that leaves it 4 times the responses and 4 times the incoming messages that you're getting. Good, bad, or indifferent. So that's going to be a big indication of success, just being able to get your numbers up there. So that's awesome. All right. So let's get back to questions here. All right. All right. Sorry, Robert. I'll try to be better with the viewing here. All right. Cool. And then response rate is purely messages. And how your niche reacts, right? You need to get them to react into that. So that's a big piece to that. All right. We got a couple minutes left. We got through a lot today, so there's a lot of little things we can do. And I think, to kind of let me stop sharing. Let's get back to chatting here. So kind of put a bow on some of this. First of all, let's thank Ari. All right. So let's make sure we got everybody in here. Give him some love. Gave us some great stuff. Gave us the platform here to be able to really go in deep into this troubleshooting stuff, which I think is really important. We highlight all the people having a lot of success. While you're getting there and just kind of starting out, it's important to see too, hey, we can just make these couple little switches here, and you see they're not big changes, right? It's just kind of bringing everything in, getting it in focus. We're going to see some good results coming in from that. So yeah, everyone gives Ari some love here. Thanks everyone for watching. So Ari, tell me what your thoughts are. You think we're tracking back on the right track for you? You feeling good about it?
Absolutely. It kind of makes me feel confident is like I kind of was in the right spot originally, but I guess since I wasn't seeing quicker results, my brain naturally just keeps moving forward. So I might have just dumped something that could have actually worked pretty well if I'd given it a chance.
Yeah. And that goes back to that point. And make sure anyone watching, make sure you just give it that time that it needs to kind of come to fruition, because it takes time. And that's where I think, what's the word I want? Like just being really married to the niche and the solution, right? The thing you're solving for them and really understanding that. I think that waffling comes a little bit when you're not sure what that one message is, which I get it for sure. But the more you can hone in on that one message and be very confident that's the problem, it's easier to stick to. So I think we're on that right track now. We'll keep working on this offline and getting this going through coaching and everything. So I'm grateful for you being with us. I'm grateful for your time here. Grateful for the Facebook users. Great. So I just want to make sure everyone knows meetwithadvisors.com. We can do similar stuff here. We're up in Ari. We're doing the private coaching outside of that. LinkedIn, really doing great right now. We've seen a big improvement in the last couple of months. Actually, it's gotten a lot more. I think just people are embracing that virtual business and really getting in there and doing stuff. So we've really seen a big uptick lately. Right now is a great time. So all of you that are thinking about jumping in, and if any of you are thinking about working in LinkedIn, start because next year we always see a really big uptick in the beginning of the year. If you could guess why, Ari, why do you think why people are more willing to do some things and work at the beginning of the year? I put you on the spot there, Ari. Sorry. I was asking.
Oh, no, you're fine. Yeah, great goals and just make more money for the next year and do better than the last.
Everyone's coming back in. They're like, man, this is January. I got all these new goals. 2022 is going to be the best year ever. So they're all really super willing to talk and jump on. So if you can get that stuff in line now and get it all ready, I think it's a great time. So meetwithadvisors.com, check it out. We'd love to chat with you. One of our coaches would be happy to answer your questions and chat with you. Thanks to all of our Facebook and YouTube and all of our listeners and watchers on there. Great comments. I mean, all right, they were great, weren't they? I mean, they gave some really good advice and some good brainstorming stuff for you. So that's good.
There's some great stuff in there. Absolutely. So again, thank you from me as well. It was a huge help.
Yeah. Yes. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys probably in the new year after the holidays. So enjoy the holidays with your family and have a great day. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Chris.
Bye-bye.